Hello everyone, Just Podcast TV is here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified on new contents.
Episode 277. Rector Marquez is really awesome. Come on, sit down. Little Carson, get some tea. Carson was very depressed. Why did he become a waiter when Zach came to their door? Zach was called to sit on the sofa by Sean, and then he was asked about his current work. The work at hand is a little complicated. Dream Group, TV and movies under Dream Group. Aren't they preparing to set up TV and movies? As Zach spoke, Carson's heart skipped a beat. He originally thought that Zach had called him over to set up ideas and strategies. He was in fact a strategist. At first glance, it seemed like Zach had a high position, but in reality, he did not have any real power. After all, it was better to have real power in the hands of his own people. Therefore, he did not have any expectations of becoming the person in charge. Who would have thought that Zach's conversation with Sean tonight would give him such a huge surprise? Although the military advisor could also come up with ideas, whether he listened to others or not, it would be different for him to be the boss. He would act accordingly to his own rules. This kind of lowering of authority represented trust, which touched Carson's heart and made him even more emotional. He thought in his heart that Director Marquez trusted him so much. He had to build his car no matter what. Not only Carson was shocked by Zach's words, but also Luna, who had changed her clothes and came out. The Dream Group that we discussed with our group about endorsing an advertisement was under your banner? Kate and Larry are your employees. Zach did not hide it. Kate is my fiancée and also the vice president of the company. Larry is the vice president of the company and also the CEO of the Dream Group. Luna had seen Kate before when she came here to talk about the contract signing. She was a very beautiful woman. She rarely felt threatened by her looks, and she was also very smart and capable. She was a very impressive woman. Larry was even more awesome. When she was still in a foreign company, she had heard of him and his business prowess. It was because of this that she finalized the advertisement and gave the exclusive endorsement to the Dream Group. Dream Film and Television Group was even more awesome. The newly released Old Watson, she had watched it 3 times already. She was touched every time she saw it. Luna never would have thought that the boss of the Dream Group was actually Zach. This guy didn't just look like a rogue, he was quite capable. After coming out of the bedroom, Luna wore a pair of pants and her shirt turned into a long-sleeve shirt. The only thing that didn't change was the black rimmed glasses on her face. It made her look more feminine. Dad, let's go to the study and talk. After informing Sean, Luna took Zach to the study. The waiter, Carson, finally had the right to sit down. He was the guest after all, and Zach's needs had to be met before his own. After entering the study room, Luna closed the door and hurriedly opened the window. Look at you in such a hurry. If it wasn't for the anti-theft window outside, I would have thought you were going to jump off the building. Zach's words made Luna stare at him with her beautiful eyes. She even robbed him and asked him to hand over the cigarette. My dad doesn't allow me to smoke. You happen to be here tonight. I will tell them that you smoked. You carry the blame for me. Zach was speechless. Not only had his cigarette been robbed, but he had even given it to her for free. And after both of them lit a cigarette, Luna enjoyed smoking. It seemed like she was quite addicted to it. After that, she looked at Zach through the lens. You still dare to flirt with me now that you have a fiancé? Zach replied, You're the one who kept talking. I want to talk about work. Luna only hated the fact that she did not have a knife in her hand and did not stab this detestable and irritating hooligan to death, so she threatened, You still want me to cooperate. If you want to cooperate, then be polite to me. Zach pushed the proposal and the experiment records of the power system to Luna, who was sitting across from him. Here, take a look first. You can follow me after you finish reading. Luna ignored Zach and categorized the documents that Zach had pushed over. Finally, she picked out the experimental records of the power system and the relevant departments to confirm and acknowledge the feasibility of the documents. This was the most important thing. She had to first figure out what Zach had researched and whether it was reliable or not. At first, she did not pay attention to this thing, but she gradually understood what it meant. In the end, her face was full of excitement, and her beautiful eyes were almost bursting with flames. Episode 278, Backroom Deal. After she finished reading, Luna lifted her head and looked at Zach. Her eyes were filled with shock, and there was no longer the slightest bit of arrogance in them. This mechanical system of yours is so awesome. The design is also perfect. We have considered this kind of hydrogen power when researching new energy sources. However, due to the upfront cost of building the hydrogen station infrastructure, it was too much, and we couldn't get the investments necessary. I didn't expect that your side would be able to produce such a simple system and have a good plan for the infrastructure. Right. How much do you plan to sell this thing for? Sell. Zach waved his hand. I won't sell this thing, and you don't necessarily have more money than me. Luna did not discuss who was richer. She thought that private companies were not much richer than their own companies. After all, they had a background. She asked directly, Then, what do you want to do? You want to set up an automotive company and work with us? Luna immediately guessed the key point. Zach nodded. With your production line, all the shops under your company will carry out cross-store sales and maintenance. But the brand is mine, and the technology is mine. We'll split the profits. After knowing Zach's thoughts, Luna was not in a hurry to discuss the distribution of profits. Instead, she asked, Then, why didn't you do it yourself? Or why didn't you work with other companies but chose us? Zach had already explained this question. He did not want to explain it anymore. I have already explained it to your father. I don't want to say it again. The fact that he could bring me here to see you at the last minute is already enough to explain the problem. Luna nodded. Indeed, she knew better than anyone what kind of person her family's old man was. After that, the two of them split up and waited for questions to be discussed in the study room. When it was mentioned that Zach needed 70% of the profits, Luna became anxious. This is robbery, okay? The production line is ours, the sales channel is ours, and the follow-up maintenance is ours too. You even took 70% of the profits? Are you kidding us? Or do you feel that you have something good in your hands and decide to sell this car for the sky-high price? If that's the case, I can tell you that there's no opportunity in that endeavor. Stop daydreaming. We are now lowering the price of the main brand to compete for the market. How can we? Before Luna could finish speaking, Zach had already explained his viewpoint. First of all, I want to get in touch with the supplier of the parts. What I want is not profit, but quality. I don't trust anyone, including you. I don't want the things I put in so much effort to create to ruin my reputation because of some cheap and low-quality parts. Secondly, 30% of the profits is not a small amount. I want the brand of this car to become a sub-brand of QZ. I want to be famous. If I sell this car overseas, I can sell it to every corner of the world. If I really do have that, have you ever thought about how much the 30% profit will be? From this point of view, I think 30% profit is too much. It would be best to give you 20% or even 10%. Luna was stunned for a while and muttered in a low voice, Wouldn't it be better if I helped you make it for free? 20% or 10% is not enough to afford anything. Luna did not say anything more about the 30% profit. Her voice of rebuttal was small, which meant that she did not have the confidence, because she knew very well that if Zach's car was manufactured in another place, the 30% profit would definitely make people excited. It was indeed quite a lot, because this hydrogen energy car did not need market verification and the relevant experts' evaluation. It was so convenient, so it saved money. Moreover, compared to the battery group's biggest advantage, apart from charging piles, it could also save the 6-year battery reporting period. One had to know that just changing the battery group alone was already tens of thousands of dollars in design costs. This was the biggest obstacle to overcome. However, hydrogen energy was not needed. This was because its storage system was, in other words, a sealed container that could isolate the temperature. In this aspect, this car had three essential factors in power, energy, and convenience. The only difference was the external factors, such as appearance and configuration, and these factors were controllable. In other words, as long as one had a conscience, it definitely wouldn't be a problem. All in all, 30% profit was really not low. This car made Luna even more moved. She felt that the brand QZ had a real chance of turning over. However, she did not agree. She just said, without revealing her emotions, "Wait till I read these documents tonight. Tomorrow, I will go and talk to the chairman. As for the details, we will discuss it in the future." Of course, Zach did not have any objections. He talked with Luna about the car, and the conversation came to an end. Before they left, Luna asked Zach, "Why do you have so many thoughts? You do everything and complement each other. This is a huge taboo in business. Don't tell me Larry won't stop you." Zach replied, "Why would he?" Episode 279. I don't agree. Luna said to Zach as she cleaned up the urn, "Your sense of humor is really unhumorous." The old man did not allow smoking. Luna, who had secretly finished smoking, quickly cleaned up the study. She could make Zach take the blame and say that it was Zach who smoked, but she could not explain the cigarette butt with lipstick on it. After tidying up, Luna extended her fair hand to Zach. "Regardless of whether our cooperation is successful or not, thank you for choosing us." Luna appeared to be very sincere, so Zach shook hands with her in all seriousness. After coming out of the study, Zach chatted with Sean for a while more, and in the midst of chatting, they started to talk about Walker. "Walker is not bad. He is good at production and management, but he is a little lacking in the ways of the world." "Oh right, how is he now?" Zach replied, "He has been demoted a couple of times. If he is demoted again, he will be kicked out of the factory soon." Sean was stunned, and then his face was full of anger. "What a bastard!" "Dad, there are some things that I can't care about. Walker has offended Heath. What can I do about it?" Luna asked. Zach had heard of Heath. He was the second in command of the group, and he had been sent here by air. It was not clear whether he was capable or not, but he had a strong background. Even the chairman of the company could not do anything to him. Sean seemed to know this all too well. He patted the sofa angrily. "This is ridiculous! This is ridiculous!" When he heard the old man, he was so angry that he coughed. Zach quickly consoled him. "It's fine. Old men aren't anxious. It's fine if they don't know what's good for them. I know what's good for me. I have already discussed it with Walker personally. The factory head position is his. I can't let him down." Sean was even more depressed. Someone had poached the talent of his company in front of his face. After leaving Sean's house, Carson accompanied Zach on the road and kept sighing. "Director Marquez, you are really awesome. When we first met, you almost scared me to death. I thought there was no need to talk about this anymore." Zach smiled. "What could that be?" Then he said, "You don't have to flatter me. Your CEO position is set. No one can take that away." Zach saw through his thoughts before he could say anything. This made Carson feel a little awkward. However, he was even more touched after that. He felt that his trust was really too rare. To him, Zach was more than just a man. Now that he had such strong trust in Zach, he really didn't know how to express the gratitude in his heart. Zach smiled and said to him, "Then, help me build a bunch of good cars." Carson pounded his chest hard, and with a bang he said, "Of course!" However, the sound was a little heavy. After a while, Carson could not help but cough. When he was returning to the hotel that night, Zach called Kate on the video call. "Luna is very strong and a smart woman. This is the impression she gave me when I was talking about the advertising and cooperation with her. Furthermore, I feel that this woman, how should I put it? She is very upright in her bones and doesn't have those loose, messy ideas." Kate's evaluation of Luna was quite high. and she also spoke of a few matters regarding Luna. From those things, it could be seen that Luna's character and style of doing things could be seen. In this way, Zack had confidence in his heart. With Luna's influence in the company, he would succeed. Therefore, he felt relieved and could only wait for the good news to come in the next few days. After chatting with Kate, they talked about some topics that were not suitable for children, and then Zack ended the call. Not long after, the phone rang. He took the phone in his hand and looked at it. The name on the screen showed Jessica. Zack picked up the phone in confusion. Then Jessica's voice came. "I'm here." Jessica came over. She was not just saying it. She really came over. She was going to start a new movie recently. The partner was here. Coincidentally, Zack was here too, so she flew over personally. About half an hour later, Jessica, who had just gotten off the plane, rushed to the hotel where Zack was staying. The two of them naturally discussed it. Again. Episode 280. I hope there will always be one. Zack had rushed to the factory early in the morning, not only for work, but also to wait for Luna's news. Luna had said that she would report to the chairman today, but it was already 10 o'clock, so there was no news back. Zack knew that he shouldn't be in a hurry. He should wait patiently. In fact, he had done the same thing, but he still felt a little anxious in his heart. However, at this moment, he wasn't the only one who was anxious. Luna was also anxious. In the morning, Luna came to the company early in the morning. She went to see the chairman and told him about the hydrogen power system. The chairman, Mac, was very happy. As an old automation worker, he knew what the hydrogen energy system meant and what kind of impact it would bring to the market. However, this was not his company after all, and it did not belong to anyone. There were some things that had to be discussed through meetings. Coincidentally, there was a meeting between the company's higher-ups this morning, so he brought this matter up at the meeting to discuss. As the chairman, it was not good for Mac to express his true attitude. After all, there were too many levels involved in this. Hence, Luna was the one to talk about this matter. She drew out the entire topic and compared the profits, market prospects, as well as the brand effects brought by future generations. Even the profits and expenditure in the future were roughly compared. It could be seen that Luna had put a lot of effort into this. She had put in a lot of effort and time in preparing this explanation. She had completely understood this matter. Moreover, all the people present were industry experts. They could understand how the deep impact this matter had on the company. From a group's perspective, this was indeed a good thing, especially when it came to saving research and development funds. Who knew how much money would be saved? However, many problems were not simple. Once the research funds were saved, the profits would clear up a lot. After Luna finished explaining, the chairman Mac looked at the few higher-ups present and said, "What do you all think about this good thing?" There were still some people who had different opinions. This person was the executive vice president of the company, Keith. "Chairman, I personally feel that this matter is not appropriate. Our company's QZ brand is quite influential in certain countries. The brand cannot be changed." Heath's words immediately won the approval of many. Everyone supported Heath's words. Some people also suggested that Zack was too arrogant. He provided the technology, and it would be more appropriate for him to get 30% of the profits. He actually dared to take 70% of the profits from the QZ group. He was too arrogant and conceited. After hearing this, Luna seemed very angry. She did not know whether it was Zack who was too arrogant and conceited, or these people who were arrogant and conceited. In the meeting, Luna and Heath started to refute and explain the influence of the technique. "Okay, I will show my attitude. I don't agree. There is no need to discuss." Heath was very domineering. When the chairman Mac proposed to discuss the hydrogen power system, he, the executive vice president, suggested that he did not agree and even said that there was no need to discuss anymore. Who exactly was the chairman if he didn't have the final say? Heath had more control than his position would have suggested. He could directly insult Mac and no one would bat an eye. After that, a few of the higher management leaders with him at the center expressed their opinions. Although they didn't say it as directly as Heath, no matter how tactful it was still a form of rejection. They didn't agree with it. Half of them were silent, and the other half didn't agree. Max said that this was a good thing. Luna firmly supported it, but it could not be compared to Heath leading a team to attack. In the end, the matter regarding the hydrogen power system in this meeting was left unsettled, and there was no result. Mac threw out another day's discussion. Result. It was unknown whether it was a helpless compromise or delaying tactic. In short, the hydrogen power system could not be used for a short period of time.